Hi, everybody. Um, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some things I've been reading about keto and low carb diets for weight loss. Um, some people and some websites that I found that sort of opened my eyes to a lot of things. I apologize for the way that I look, and it's really dark. It is very early in the morning, and this is what my hair looks like when I wake up in the morning. Um, so I'm going to do a little bit of a backstory here um, about how long I've been on this diet and where my weight has gone on this diet and what I intend to do from here on out to achieve my goals. So this is where, Jesus Christ Almighty, this is where I say, oh my God, like I cut my hair. Wait, I need my optimum volume. And I mean that in the sense of I want to look as crazy as possible. So I found out about keto. I'm going to keep it like this, so enjoy. I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. Low carb was something I had done before. And I mean, I have struggled with my weight for years. I tried Atkins when I was in ninth or 10th grade, which means it was more than 10 years ago. Um, and at the time, my parents were not very happy about it. They were like, this is weird. What do you do? You're eating meat all the time. This is weird. I don't like this. Okay. So I went off Atkins, even though I did lose weight on Atkins. I did. I did the induction, whatever. Long story short, 3 or 4 years ago, I decided, I've never recorded myself. I decided that I would try keto because I had gained so much weight. I am 5'1", 5 feet, 1 inch. I was at 250 pounds. That's a lot. Um, but I didn't drop a lot of my weight starting keto. If I remember correctly, I dropped a lot of my weight doing green juices. It was around the time everybody was putting lots of vegetables in a blender and drinking it. So I did that, but it was mostly because I cut out snacking and I cut out eating frequently. I was waking up in the morning, having a cup of coffee like I do every single morning, and it wasn't like a bulletproof coffee. It was a regular coffee. And I wouldn't eat food. I would wait until like noon, and I would have a green smoothie. And then I wouldn't eat until dinner. And even then I was being more cautious about the amount of food I was eating. Long story short, I ended up losing, I want to say 60 pounds. And I was getting more active. So I was around 190, maybe like closer to 200, between 190 and 2. And I started keto. Now, I know this because I started tracking on my Fitness Pal. You would think I'm very popular. I'm not. And what happened was I was very strict about it. I lost a good deal of weight. I went from about 200 down to 180 within a couple months. And this is where I'm at now, 3 years later. Right? So I'm around 172 now. Well, that was before I ate all the carbs last night. I cheated. But this is my problem. This is my problem. I lose weight and I eat to celebrate. I feel better in my clothes. I feel better with my body. I look good. I'll say, oh my God, I lost so much weight. People have been coming up to me, and that's how you know, right? The old adage, it takes 12 weeks for other people to see that you've lost weight. I cannot get, like, what is with, do you like all my Halloween decorations? My father is an adorable man, and he loves decorating, but he just hangs shit from shit, and he hangs. My darling little. And this is all stuff he found. He found this thing. He found that. And he put those peacocks on. I wanted to throw out this lamp. This is a lamp I got from a 99-cent store. Look at you see this? And he found these peacocks, and he stuck the peacocks on it. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it's almost at 6 minutes. Okay. So, oh my God, I have to edit this. So I've been reading about the ketogenic diet. Now, I'm just going to briefly touch on a lot of the physical things, like the physical things that I enjoy while being on keto. One of those things is that I do experience a boost of energy eating low carb. I do not get sick as often. I do not come down with the same things that go around. Now, I touched on this in my previous video, that I work in a pharmacy, and it's coming up to flu, cold, cough season, and like clockwork, it goes around my pharmacy. Somebody gets the flu, somebody gets, bronchitis, somebody gets, and somebody is always sick. And it's because my boss doesn't believe in Lysol. My pharmacist, my pharmacist manager does not believe in Lysol in a pharmacy. So I have to clean everything with alcohol. Yeah. Anyway, but it's important for me to make sure that this season I stay without illness. My father is getting chemotherapy. His immune system is very delicate. And I know that he still works. I know that there's a risk that he can catch something himself. I don't want to be the reason why he gets sick and has to, God forbid, go to the hospital. But like I said, keto makes me less susceptible to illnesses, and it gives me energy. And when I cut out dairy, you can't really see because it's very dark, and I don't feel like doing my makeup too early in the morning. My skin looks better. I don't get breakouts when I don't eat dairy. I'm just like, I'm sitting here feeling all my bumps. I did just have my time of the month, so I'm more prone to acne here. And like usually I'll get a huge gross one here and on my chin somewhere. I had them underneath my chin. You could see this one gross. But long story short, I feel much better. I don't have water weight bloat, which allows me to still fit into a lot of my clothes. But I have been doing a lot of research. And the reason why I started doing the research is thus. I started getting comments from people when I was complaining about how, I'm doing keto perfect and I'm still stalling. I stall between 178 and right now I'm down to 172. The last time I broke 170, I wasn't on low carb, I don't believe. I was in beginning of years of college. I was working out. That too. So I know that I don't exercise. I don't exercise. There's a lot of reasons I don't exercise. A lot of it's laziness. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I have chronic pain. I do have chronic pain, but I could push through it, but I find myself very just resistant to exercise. And that's the thing too. and this is what I found with the research I've been doing. You read a lot of these old school websites that haven't been updated in quite some time. Because when I first found low carb and when I first found keto, it was like, you eat keto, you don't have to exercise, the weight's gonna just fall off you. And I found that to be true the first, the second, the third go around, because make no mistake, I haven't been strict keto for 3 years. I've fallen off a couple of times. My mother passed away. I started eating everything in sight because I am an emotional eater. My father got diagnosed with cancer. I started eating everything in sight. It was a summertime. I was feeling depressed and I just started eating whatever I want, and I was drinking too. Another thing about if you're on low carb and you start drinking, you don't need to spend $300 at the bar. You gonna get fucked up off of like one drink. But if you drink beer, I don't drink beer, but I drink mixed drinks, and it's good. I'm a cheap date. Um, but long story short, yes. So I've been doing a lot of research, and what I found is that in addition to adding in exercise, the ketogenic diet that a lot of people are reading information about has to do with a medically necessary ketogenic diet for children who suffer from epilepsy. And they have to eat high fat, moderate protein, low carb, and that prevents them from having seizures or seizure episodes in their life. And the reason why they have to eat such high fat, in addition to becoming fat adapted and allowing your body to recognize ketosis, I guess, and what it is to rely on fat instead of carbohydrates, glucose for energy and stuff. Besides that, it was because they're children, and they were dropping a lot of weight, and they needed to get their weight up. So mostly fat, high fat eating, putting lots of fat into the things they were eating, putting butter and oil and extra cheese and all this stuff on their food to bump up the calories so that these children can not waste away and get real thin and get, uncomfortably thin. They need to grow their children. They need it for whatever processes they have going on in their young little bodies. I've been reading a lot of things about how if you're an adult who doesn't need to medically be on a ketogenic diet, you shouldn't be adding so much fat. Because if you're adding a lot of dietary fat to your diet, your body's not going to burn your stored fat. Now, it makes sense. But then if I'm not adding a lot of fat to my meals, wouldn't I just be eating mostly protein? Was my first question. Right? Yeah, I'm just going to be eating mostly protein, and gluconeogenesis is going to kick in, and it's going to be pointless, right? And I'm going to die because all I eat is meat. Total shout out here. I just found a show called Arrested Development. It was on Fox. It didn't do so good, but it's hysterical. If you're into comedies, if you just want to give it a shot, there's an episode, I don't know the name, but I'm sure you can find it if you Google it, where they all go on low carb. And it's just funny because every line or so they'll talk about, oh, it's too much meat. I want everybody off this diet. And everybody's so cranky because they can't eat buns. Like they can't eat buns or fries or carbs. It's just so funny because throughout they keep bringing it up. It's like, I'll make some popcorn. Oh, are we just going to throw low carb out the window, all our hard work? I said, I'll fry up some bacon instead. Oh, yeah, sounds good. Whatever. I just found it was so funny. And then when I hit that episode, I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes in to the first season, I was just like, I love this show. It's so funny. Definitely, I recommend it. But long story short, uh, it makes a lot of sense because I have been stalled and I have been having my bulletproof coffee. Can we please stop calling it bulletproof coffee? Because that's the name of a brand. That is the name of a brand. Bulletproof is a brand. I know because I bought their stupid MCT oil that was supposed to give me unbounded energy, and it did absolutely nothing. It was just adding oil to my coffee, and maybe my body doesn't suck up MCT oils or C8 branch chain. It didn't do anything for me. It was expensive, and we can not call it bulletproof coffee. We can call it butter coffee, or we can call it oil, whatever. Just I don't feel comfortable um, giving shout outs to a brand that whatever. Um, but yeah, I was adding fat to my coffee in the morning. I was having iced coffee with a crap ton of heavy cream. And then I would come home and I would eat my vegetable, my protein. And then I would, put butter or oil on top of it. And I didn't gain weight, but I didn't lose. So in addition to adding exercise in, which is going to be a real riot, guys, for me, I'm thinking of, which I have been, but I've actually not been good with the dairy, because like I said, we all think that we have to add our fats in. And I said, you know what? I can't give up dairy, which I really wanted to, because I do have gastrointestinal issues. I have yet to see a gastroenterologist because finding an appointment with a specialist when you work is like finding a four-leaf clover. Oh, I can fit you in. Why don't you call every day and see when we have an opening? Like, I have a life. I might be sleeping. I might be working. I can't do that. Long story short. So hopefully we're going to figure out what's up with me. I don't have any allergies. They made me poop in a cup. And yeah, this is disgusting. You're going to get a little taste of who I am and the things that come out of my mouth. They made me poop in a cup because I told them I thought I had some sort of like celiac. I told them first in point blank and center. I said, I think I have celiac because I think I have, what's my brain? I need more coffee. Oh, lactose intolerance. I said, there's something up with my guts. I eat and my stomach bubbles. I experience frequent diarrhea. And I don't know what it is because I'm not eating crappy foods. And she said, okay, we're going to send you and you're going to poop in these 2 cups. And it's really gross. If anybody hasn't had this, it's like a fecal test. When you have stomach issues, they want to rule out like parasites. They want to rule out like infections. So they make you poop in this cup. This is so gross. And then they give you like a paintbrush. And you take the poop and you brush it on like these little cards. And you send it to a lab. And these people, I really hope that anybody who works in a lab, like the Quest Diagnostics and stuff like that they get paid a lot, because there's my agita. It's gross. And it was a mess, and it made my whole bathroom smell disgusting for a couple hours. But I Lysoled the shit out of it. I did. I Lysoled the shit out. Okay. So long story short, I'm going to figure out what's up with that, but I know that I need to cut dairy. So I didn't cut dairy. I read, if you want to cut dairy, you should just cut everything that's soft. All the soft cheeses. Cut the soft cheese. You can still have the hard cheese that is free of lactose. It still has casein or something, and try that out. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I love cheddar cheese, one of the hardest cheeses out there. So I had cut out heavy whipping cream, which is something that I've spoken about, that I cannot stand coffee without heavy whipping cream. This shit right here, this shit I'm drinking is just cashew milk with my pumpkin spice syrup thing. Oh, I gotta get ready for work. Ugh. And no fat, nothing added. I didn't put any coconut oil. I didn't put butter. I didn't do any of those things. Because it makes a lot of sense. I'm going to stop adding dietary fats. I'm going to stop adding in cheese because like I said, I'm totally digressing, but I'll edit it so you will think that I'm crazy. I did want to cut dairy. But like I said, I was worried that I wasn't getting enough dietary fat. So I added cheddar cheese back in, and then I snuck in some heavy whipping cream. I'm just going to cover this set because it's really annoying. I did put heavy whipping cream back in for a while because I was feeling that I wasn't really enjoying eating anything. I wasn't enjoying any treats. And it's pumpkin spice season. Yes, queen. It's PSL bitches. So I already stopped with the heavy cream. Long story short, I have a Starbucks in my job, and one of the girls there is keto or low carb, but she's one of those wishy-washy ones, like I couldn't go low carb, blah 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 blah. Okay, so she usually will make well, they all will. I walk up, hey, my usual, and it's basically a huge venti iced coffee that is like white because they add heavy whipping cream to it. Now, like I said, I don't really care for coffee without heavy whipping cream. I don't care for iced coffee without heavy whipping cream. I love coffee, and I do believe that I need it in the morning. I think that's going to be something else. There's going to be a lot of little changes that I have to make in order to adhere to what I'm going to be doing from here on in, which is I am going to limit the amount of fat I eat. So I'm not going to have butter in my coffee, yada, yada, yada. But it is going to be high protein. I feel like I'm not eating enough protein. I also feel like I'm not eating enough, which might be a problem. I snack a lot. And that's also another thing I wanted to go into, but I'm not going to go into this now. I just wanted to make this video to sort of tell you where I'm going to be going, because I haven't posted anything on Instagram for a while because I've been really thinking about how I'm going to continue going forward with this, with not adding so much fat. But I do have to do a lot of research. I've found like 2 people, and by people I mean like 2 entities that are proponents of not following a medical by definition ketogenic diet. So I have to do more research, but there are little things that I'm going to have to tweak here and there, and I'm going to touch on that in another video. But I just wanted to tell you where I was at now with what's going on, where I've come from, what I intend to do going forward, because it's been 3 years. Even though health-wise I feel much better on a keto diet, I just have to tweak something because I'm not dropping enough weight. I'm not, I understand that there have been theories that the first time you go keto is the best time to go keto, and if you trip up and you go back and try it a second time, it doesn't work as well. That doesn't sound right. It sounds like, you shock your body the first time and it starts to use fat as fuel, and it's going to start this new process, and maybe things will drop, you'll drop the weight faster, whatever. But I don't think that it's a one and done thing, and that you cannot do it again, ever. You done fucked up and that's it. Oh, well, you're gonna be fat forever. No, I don't think the body works that way. But I do need to tweak a lot of things. And I'm going to touch on that in another video. But for right now, I'm gonna edit this, but I've been talking for 25 minutes. And that's easy for me because I digress. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, hit me up on Instagram, send me a message, and that's it. Have a good day. I apologize for the way I look, but I'm not putting makeup on for this video. Goodbye.